Hey folks, this lure right here is one of the hottest things in bass fishing. It's called the Whopper Plopper, and this is the big old one. Well, they even make a bigger one for muskies and stuff, but for bass, it's really something. Now I'm in a 200-year-old lake in South Carolina. Really a cool place. So I don't know what's going to happen here, but I'm going to go ahead and throw this Whopper Plopper just off this shoreline. Listen to it. Oh. Has a neat sound. I got some weeds on it. Okay, let's get the weeds off. Oh heavens. Okay, now listen to it now. It's really a cool sounding lure. Hear it? Some really big fish will hit this thing, and in fact, it's been reported to have some just the best topwater strikes in the whole world sometime. They just hit it so good. And so that's what I'm kind of doing right now. It's a foggy day in the summertime. I got him, son. I got him. Oh fish, come out of there. Put them loose. I don't know if I can get them or not. I don't know if the fish is still on. I think it's off. I think it's not. No, it's not. That 50-pound braid helps. Getting the lily pads. Well, I'll tell you what, folks, what we're doing today, we're throwing a big bass lure called the Whopper Plopper. And if I can get it loose from this lily pad. And that's a little one. First bass of the day. This is a great big giant plug. Folks, I'm Roland Martin, and I'm going to show you a few things today about fishing the Whopper Plopper. It's just a really sensational lure for catching big bass. Look at this thing. It's actually a musky lure. It makes a lot of noise, and it's a great lure for really big fish. You get some explosive topwater action. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to throw it out in these places. Hear it? Just a phenomenal sounding lure. Now it was just a little one, I know that. And maybe it's not the only thing that they'll bite. I have another lure that they might bite just as well. Got the pads in it. Now I have another lure I'm going to use today is that heart tail grub by Yamamoto. That's a great swim bait. A little bit thick right here. That's the problem. You can't throw this. The Whopper Plopper you can't throw it in a lot of heavy weeds. So when you get in a situation like I'm in now with all these weeds, pick up my backup. This is my backup. This is my Yamamoto heart tail grub. Okay, now I'll throw this out there. Heavy braid again, and swim it along. It comes right through all those pads and stuff. Comes through all that grass. And one of the things that I think I can do here that really makes it good is I'll throw it on top of the grass. See, where I'm throwing now, it's really not the shoreline. It's really deep there. It's like 6 feet deep. That's a floating bog that floats in the water. The shoreline's 100 feet away in those big trees. But right there where the lure came in the water, it's like 6 feet deep. It's way deep right here. Look at this. Oh, I don't hit the bottom. It's deep all along these areas. So what you can do with a lot of these lures, you can throw the lure on top of the mat, and they can hear it, and then you kind of swim it right to the edge, kind of slow, and they're liable to hit it. It's like 5 or 6 feet deep right there. So I'm gonna take that hardtail, make a couple casts right here, and then I'll move on and use the Whopper Plopper too. So it's kind of a combination of Whopper Plopper and swim bait action. Liable to catch a big fish, and that's why I'm here. Tell you, there's stories going on. This is an old lake. It was built originally about 200 years ago, and it went dry for about 100 years. And then they filled it back up about 40 years ago. They resurrected it again. Of course, the original fish that were here 200 years ago, of course, they're long gone, but the lake itself has been here over 200 years. And now it's been reflooded, new trees in it. It's just a great fishery, and it's a mile long. This isn't a little bitty lake. It's a great big lake. Whopper Plopper time, swim bait time, and it's a foggy day. Boy, you can't beat it. And you know, when I look at places to throw, I'm always thinking bass being an ambush, on ambush. They're on an ambush point, like that point right here. But now I don't want to throw right to the point, I'll scare them. So I'm going to throw way past it, way in those lilies, way over there. And I'll come off, and I'll come. Now, it's swimming towards the point. It's about a foot off that point. Okay, now I'm going to slow it down. It's about halfway down bottom of that point. I'm going to feel for the strike. I didn't get a strike. Yeah, you don't always get them. But that's the kind of place, and that's the kind of thing I do. Now, also, I throw up on the point like this, up in those weeds. And remember, I said it's about 5 or 6 foot deep, and drop it down and let it sink right there. I didn't bite it that time. I can even put it right back there. Drop it down. Let it sink right there. There's not a bass every cast, but this could be a big bass. And that's kind of what I'm after. I've got heavy duty tackle here. There's one right there. Hit the swim bait, hit the swim bait. He hit the swim bait. I just dropped it off that hole. I dropped it down, and he's down 3 or 4 or 5 feet deep, and not much of a fish, but it's representative of what we need to do today. A couple pounds or so. Look how black he is. You're talking about a black fish. See, this is a black water pond. It's real tannic water, and what they call black water. And the bass have kind of what of a chameleon deal. In real light, muddy water, they'll get light. In real dark, tannic water, they get dark. So that's kind of what we have here. Okay, and what I did then was I threw right to that, what looks like the shoreline. But I'll show you something. I'm gonna go over there in just a second. It looks like the shoreline. It's really about 5 or 6 feet deep. I threw it up there, he was probably underneath that, and then let it sink down right underneath there. Okay, I just want to show you, I've already caught the fish there. I just want to show you how deep it is. This is all a floating bog, every single bit of it. And it's all 5 and 6 foot deep underneath here. So there's any number of bass that are hiding down there. In fact, after a while, I might jig it with a big jig or a big crawl worm. Look at this, I want to just show you something. Look how deep it is. Oh, I don't even touch bottom. It's 7.5 foot rod. It's deep here. But anyway, there's probably bass underneath all this stuff. I'm sure there are. And that'd be another whole ball game, jigging those places. So, for right now, I'm just kind of swimming this swim bait and throwing that Whopper Plopper. Okay, that was one. So far, I don't know, it's 1 and 1. Let me try another deal. Let me try the Whopper Plopper. The Whopper Plopper is so fascinating, and so many big, giant fish hit it. Past the point. There, like that. See that? Way back there. Yeah. Hold my rod up. Get the line off the water. See, you can use about any size line because that line's not even in the water. That line's up off the water. Long cast. You can throw it over 100 feet. It's just a long distance lure. And that's the thing about braid. Heavy braid, I can set the hook pretty well at 100 feet. Like you can't with monofilament because it stretches up to about 12, 15%. The braid only stretches like 1 or 2%. So you can set the hook really well at a distance. And I got a big heavy rod too. Look at that cast. way up there. Oh, got in a pad. Okay, jerk them loose. Problem with this deal. Here's the problem with this deal. There's the problem. These pads, look how deep they are. That's just one lily pad that came loose from the bottom. Look how deep it was growing. Look at the roots. The thing was, look how long, 7 or 8 feet long. That's how deep the water is. It's way deep. Okay, so now I didn't catch one there. So sometimes back it up with a swim bait, because it's really a good looking spot. I'm gonna throw it right back in there, drop the swim bait down, just to run it slow and easy. See if they'll bite the swim bait. It might have got their attention. You know, some of the guys will take crankbaits, for example, David Fritz and those guys, and they'll throw in on shorelines or points or brush piles, and they'll try to get the fish excited. And his concept is that, well, the fish are there, but they're dormant. They're not doing anything. So you gotta get them excited sometimes. You get them just gonna wake them up. So that big old swim bait, well, the big old buzz bait or the big old Whopper Plopper might really kind of wake them up. Then you follow it up with a worm or something subtle like the swim bait here, and bam, they're liable to hit it. Bright sun. Hey, you know, I'm an older guy, but I go to the dermatologist all the time. And he asked me, he says, do you use a lot of sunscreen? I said, absolutely, I do. I use sunscreen every day, a couple times a day. Get it on my nose real good, on my lips real good, on the top of my ears. Now, I do a little bit on my arms. Arms are all right. Arms are kind of not so bad. And I really don't do my legs much, a little bit. But anyway, I'm cancer free, no melanoma. There's a good one. There's a good one. Whopper stopper, Whopper stopper, Whopper stopper. I knew it. You want to hit it? Get a Whopper Plopper. The Whopper Plopper bait. He hit it. He hit it. He hit it. Whopper Plopper. Boy, he exploded on it. Not a real big fish, but he really hit it good. He hit it really good. Okay. Oh boy, that Whopper Plopper. Explosive strike. That's something else, son. Woo! Plenty of grass. This part of the lake, it's shallower up here. And there's more grass. So I'll just keep throwing that Whopper Plopper a little bit. That's a couple fish I've caught on that. And then of course the swim bait works. So that was fun. I didn't know how big he was. Ooh, there's a fish after mine. Yeah, he's got it. I saw him come after it. I saw him come after it. He swam up. He made a wake. He made a wake right after it. And that was the importance of having good polarized sunglasses. I have good flying fisherman sunglasses. And I saw that, I was throwing that swim bait. I was making that, and it made a wake behind it. And nice, beautiful bass. It came up and grabbed it. What I did, when I saw the wake, I just stopped reeling. The swim bait went down and he ate it. And it was just that easy. But it's not hard to catch them. It's just hard to know when to drop it down. You have to watch, be observant. That was really good. Now, it's a big 7/0 gambler hook with a little 1/8 of an ounce weight. In addition to that 1/8 of an ounce weight, I add, now this is 50-pound braid. I'm adding a little bit more weight. I'm adding that little bit of 1/8 ounce lead. And see, there's all this hydrilla and logs here, but I just saw that wake. I just saw that wake, and that was so important to be able to swim that thing along and see the wake. Oh boy, that's a big one. That was a big one. Okay, now watch this, okay, folks. what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna throw back in there and I'm gonna throw my Senko back on him. That was a big fish. And I'm gonna throw my Senko on that fish. Okay. He's got it. I got him. I got him. I got him. Back up. Back up time. Back up time. Back up time. He hit the see, he hit the big topwater plug to start with, and I threw back in the backup. That was just the perfect combination. He's a big fish too. Nice bass. That's what we're talking about, folks. Well, I hope I taught you a few things about Whopper Plopper fishing, and in this case, a big backup deal, backup plan on a worm. That's what it's all about. That was so cool. He just garbaged that thing. He really hit good, but he hit that Senko the second I threw back in there. The second he threw back in there, he got the Senko. So folks, you can see that having a backup plan is sure a big deal. Big, beautiful adult bass like this, back it up with the Senko, but that Whopper Plopper got the strike. Hey, I hope I taught you a few things. You know, I really enjoy doing these YouTubes. I'm in South Carolina now. Actually, I lived here 7 years when I was in the military, and I was guiding at Santee. And so anyway, it's fun to be back home. It's kind of a home. I'm gonna let him go. I read all your comments, and I appreciate the comments that you guys make. And my YouTube channel is really growing well, and I'm real proud of that. And I just have a lot of fun doing it. So I post every Wednesday about 6 o'clock, and I post every Sunday about 6 o'clock. In fact, today is Sunday, and I'll be posting in just a little bit. So folks, thanks for watching, and we'll see you again soon.